Everyone says you have to pay to keep up in Marvel Strike Force. I'm here to tell you that that information is wrong. I have both an endgame veteran account as well as a new player account, $0 spent, and I'm able to keep up with the teams as they come out. The secret isn't the money, it's the blueprint, it's the plan. So I'm going to show you my plan, how I look at things when new character releases are happening. And since we got one coming up, I'll show you the exact blueprint that I use to make sure I'm building the things appropriately in Marvel Strike Force. Let's go to the game. There's a lot of different teams to worry about, so obviously we can't build everything. We want to try to stay as new and relevant as possible. Right now, Magneto Phoenix Force, an epic character. This is who we're working on right now in the game. This is what's happening on my main account. We have him at 2 stars. We'll see what happens when we get up to that 3-star mark, whether we should keep pushing or not. Again, this is a really interesting time. Epic characters like this only come out a couple times a year, so it's a little bit different in the flow of what we're trying to do. But since he's the newest character, we're going to be going after him really as aggressively as we can. When we've done all we can with Magneto, we'll pivot back to the one of the 2 teams that are coming out right now. So that is the Winter Guard or the Champions. I suppose as well, New Mutants could be somewhere where you're at too. This is one of those times where there's kind of a nebulous 3 teams that we might be into. So right now though, with, on my account here, this is my main account, I'm working on the Winter Guard. We pretty much have everything done except for I don't have Ursa Major or Omega Red at gear tier 20. And I'm debating whether I should do that or not, right? There's a lot of mutants that have come to the fore in the past couple of weeks. So we've had Ursa Major, we got Darkstar, we have Omega Red on this team. They're all mutants. We have 4 of the new mutant members, also mutants. And again, Magneto Phoenix Force, also a mutant. So if I'm going to build somebody to gear tier 20, I'm debating between, in actuality, Magneto Phoenix Force or Omega Red. I just didn't have enough materials. I'm going to try to rectify that by when we use the chapter store to go exclusively after the gear tier 20 materials and see how that works. I'm not going to know, right? I'm not suggesting that you do that because I'm not going to know for a couple of months as to whether or not that's going to be an effective strategy. But beyond that, since I have all the characters at 105, right? So 105 is the free to play stopping point. We stop at 105. Since I have them all at 105, gear tier 19, that's all I can control. There's nothing more I can control. I can try to stack the mutant gear and just wait for the next team, right? So this is what you do. You get as far as you can, and then you stop and wait for the next team. This is at the tip of the spear, so to speak, right? The farthest I can go right now as a free-to-play player is the Winter Guard. The champions are not yet in the game. So you want to try to get to this point so that you can build and then restock your supplies. So just to illustrate what I mean, here we are inside of the chapter store. The Crimson Microdot, right? That is the skill mini unique piece. I would like to purchase that, but I don't have enough fractals. I only had enough for 1 in this case. So I went with the Crimson Phytonutrients because I had less of them, right? I got 53 there. I got 100 of the other one. Obviously, this is also a mutant piece, but I had less of them. So between the 2, you go with the one that you have the least of to try to build up, or you go with the one that you're targeting as far as the characters that are coming out. One of those pieces is a mutant piece. This other one is a skill piece. So if you're working on a particular side of the coin, that comes in mind as well. Otherwise, I'm just waiting, right, to get a little bit more fractals, which should come a little bit later in the day. And right, we'll be able to pick up hopefully 2 pieces. I'm going to try to do that twice a day, right? The store refreshes 3 times a day, but it's hard to make sure that you keep up with that. So I've tried to do it twice a day. If not, just once a day. You can only do what you can do and keep moving forward. So on the 11th of this month, it's announced that the champions will start coming into the game, exclusively Moon Girl, right? So Moon Girl is going to be the first of the new characters to come in. And again, she's going to be released on the 11th of this month. So what I'm going to do on this account is I'm just going to use power cores, right? I'm just going to use power cores to open her. She's 100 shard unlock, as has been the case for a couple years now. And I use power cores to unlock her. If I don't have enough to do it, then I would just do what I can. Let me show you. So if you look up at the top there, I have 18,000. So I got more than enough. Okay. I got more than enough. If we have less than that, as we have on my newer account, what we'll do is anytime that we get above 3,000, then we'll get an orb. All we're trying to do is shorten the time between when they're released as a free-to-play thing, or excuse me, when they're released as a spender thing to when they're released as a free-to-play thing. Okay. It's been stated, right? We go way back to when they started this new method. There is a 2-month gap in between those two things, right? It's not always consistent, but Scopely has said, hey, we're allowing up to a 2-month gap between when we say this team comes out for money and then when you can start getting it free to play consistently, right? There might be other unlocks and things like that, but well, you will be able to start getting it consistently. There is a 2-month gap. Okay. So all I'm really trying to do is get my teams to the front of that line. Then if I do start to fall behind, I have a 2-month cushion. Does that make sense? If I do start to fall behind, I have a 2-month cushion before we actually get into the nuts and bolts of the free to play side of things. And then I can try again to push my account a little bit farther forward and not have to worry about falling behind. Now, the other members there, we have Braun, Spider-Man Miles, and Miss Marvel. I would check to see, well, how many shards of them do I need to get them to 7 stars? In this case of this account, that's all done, right? They're older characters. I've had them for a long time from when they were on different teams, so I don't have to do that. But if you need them, then I would go ahead and favorite them so they can end up at the top of your list to remind yourself to go and get them from the store on a regular basis. So on my account here, I got these characters just to kind of remind me of what's going on. Franklin Richards. I'm trying to get this last part right here, so maybe we'll get enough to get that tomorrow to get his purple ISO 5. So that's why I have him on the list here, just to remind myself that I'm working on him to get him to purple ISO 5. Next up, you see we have Winter Guard members that we're working on, so that's about to come to a close. I might remove them from that category soon. Thunderstrike, I still need 1 red star on him, so it's just to remind myself to try to go hard when his event happens. That might be the best I'm going to get. I might not be able to get anything else. We have some New Mutants members here. We have some Retcon members here. We have Magneto Phoenix Force. And again, we have those members of the Champions. So it's just to remind me, hey, these are individuals I need to make sure that I'm going after in the store to just get their character shards. That's all I'm doing. I don't need to build them up. Don't build anything. It's just to remind myself to farm their character shards. And again, as an endgame player, I have all of them. Now, again, this is kind of a luxury type thing. Just we're looking at Miss Marvel once again here, just to illustrate. It says that she's in the previous ages. So she's not in the age of Annihilus when it comes to the store. That means to me that it's not time to go after her as a free to play player. That means that team is not in the free to play stage, which is fine, right? It's just something to keep in mind if you're trying to figure out, well, what should I be building, right? You want to build the most recent team that is probably inside of that area. And so right now it's going to be the Winter Guard. Don't forget that the character that we're supposed to be working on as far as just getting shards in the campaigns right now is Scorpion. So I'm slowly building him up. You see, we have 2 diamonds on him, but we got to get his character shards up to that 300 mark first. We're getting pretty close. So that box in the middle there, we have a chance to find him in the age of Annihilus. So again, that's part of the free to play option. He's not always going to be there, right? There's a chance that he's going to be there. We click on it. We don't see that he's there right now. So we can't sweat it. We can't do anything about that. We're just try to look at the store when it pops up, see if he's there, make sure we pick him up. The other thing we can do is grab him again in the campaign. So we'll take 1 swing over at that. He's in Nexus Hard Mode 4.9. Where we can scoot all the way again to the left here, and we can see his campaign, right where he's at. We already went after him for today. So we're not going to refresh the node. We're not going to do anything like that. We're just slowly going to go after it. As that happens, this is a place where they give you some gold. So they did put it on a great node for us. So make sure we do that, right? Once a day, go after that. Right now we're moving up to 110, right? We're at 106 on this account. So we might as well get some experience points by using some campaigns. So do the things that are going to be beneficial for your account. The blog post mentioned a pocket dimension where we would need all 5 of the retcon characters. So those are things that, again, you just pump the brakes. We're not going to build any of these characters yet. 1, we don't have Jeff the Landshark unlocked. It's going to be a little bit, right? It's going to be a couple months before we get him. So there's no need to panic. That part I can't control, right? I can't control. I'm not in the super top end alliance for war. So I can't control how much of those we get. I'm getting the average amount. So I'm going to get that 45, 35, 55, whatever. The average amount of people get, that's what I'm going to be getting. So it's going to take a couple of weeks, a couple of months to get him unlocked. Until that happens, there's nothing I can do regarding the rest of the team, right? The rest of the team will not function without Jeff the Landshark. So there's no point in me building any of the retcon members. So don't be worried about that pocket dimension. It said it would be open for a while longer. We know that retcon was one of the things the blog listed as far as the chaos node. Again, you can't be worried about that. It's one node. There's plenty of other things to do in Battle World. It's one node. You can't force it. You can't make yourself get more shards. They're not for sale. You need to be in a super high-end alliance to be unlocking them with this coming up this next weekend. And most of us, that's not us. So all you can do is what you can do. And since I can't do anything, I move on to the next target. Looking at She-Hulk here. So real quick, we're just highlighting once again, where is she available in supplies? Age of Apocalypse. So that's an older age, right? We're not supposed to be building them yet. I'm interested to see when that's going to happen. This is a lot of resources that we right now have not been issued resources for in the game free to play, right? Right now, we just have not been issued resources for the retcon team free to play. So again, we're just going to hold off and wait. I'm not sure how that's going to come to be. There's nothing I can do about it now anyway, right? I don't have Jeff. So we're just going to refrain from building these characters until we learn more. So the thing that I might want to worry about, right, is the Sentry. You see, I'm getting ready to unlock him. So hopefully I have some resources stored up that I can do that. If not, then right, we're going to start needing to dig for that. But that's why we don't spend everything, right? From what I understand, right, from watching Big Positive Geek and people that keep track of the economy, from what I understand, it might have been 2 months ago that we got the free to play resources to build this character. So we could have maybe, right, if we're not paying attention, we could have used that on something else. And maybe that's one of the reasons why it's harder for us to keep up. We could have used what was allocated already for this purpose, so for this person somewhere else. And then, yeah, then we're already kind of behind. So just go slow and just build things as you need them. Build things as they come, right? The retcon thing is a little bit weird because we didn't know the dates and stuff like that. But hopefully we were able to pause in time. I'm going to be unlocking Sentry at the end of this battle world, no matter what. I only need 10. So hopefully, as long as I show up, I get to unlock him. And then hopefully we have the resources to build him. The blog post also mentioned the Galactic Council as being, again, for that chaos node. So this is why, again, we don't want to panic. We don't want to panic. When we look at the Galactic Council, what do we see? Well, we have Thunderstrike, Blastar, and Quasar if we've been playing for a while. So we have those 3 members. And we should have them decently powered. We should have them at some semblance of power, no matter where we are in the game, if we've been playing at least through the Age of Annihilus. That gives us 3 characters to use on that Chaos node. The champions were mentioned as well, but as we know, we're not really going to have many champions. If we're playing free to play, we'll probably have 0 champions. Moon Girl by herself might not be enough, but it also mentioned the Phoenix Force. So again, if we've been playing for a little bit, perhaps we have Phoenix. Perhaps we have Omega Red Phoenix Force. We'll see how far we get with Magneto Phoenix Force. But between those 2 teams, right, there's 6 people-ish here, or maybe 5, right, depending, 5 or 6 people-ish here. So that's what we'll use. And again, we don't want to panic about it. It's one node. The goal for us as free to play is to just get as much of the stuff done, get as much of the rewards as we can, and get Sentry. That's the goal. The other things, don't worry about it. The goal is to get the Sentry and get him powered up. That's what we're working towards. The rest of the stuff is just bonus. So circling back to the champions, again, the goal is to try to stay at the tip of the spear. So that's where I'm at. I'm done as far as I can with the Winter Guard. If I can get some of them to gear to 20, I will. If not, nothing I can do about it. We'll just keep saving. On the 11th, Moon Girl will come out and I will stop whatever I was doing for the Winter Guard. I won't be working for that anymore. That's just a line in the sand for me. If I didn't get them all, which it looks like I'm not going to get them all to gear to 20, I'm just going to stop and then start working on the champions. Again, there's a 2-month gap between when you get out as free to play, or excuse me, spender versus free to play. I'm trying to stay at the front of that line. But what if, right? What if we're not there? What if we're not at the front of that line? Does that change the way you do things? Absolutely. Let's take a look at the baby account. So let's take a minute then to look over at the baby account. And as you can see, there's a couple of things that are different. We are at level 106. Our power cores there are at about 7,000. Okay, so we're going to keep drawing on those. Like I said, if you're below 3,000, personally, I say just try to keep 3,000 in the stash. When you make it above 3,000, you pull a power core for the character that you're working on. The main character that we should be working on right now is Magneto Phoenix Force. So again, you see there's a difference. I'm at 37 or 45, so we still don't have him unlocked. The goal on this account will probably most likely be a 3-star unlock. That's what we'll be shooting for. I don't think we'll have the juice to get up to 4. We'll find out though. We'll find out, right? He's only here for a limited time, and epic characters like this, again, they go away and there's no way to farm them. He is probably going to be the strongest character I can get my hands on right now. Every character, every team that comes out is stronger than the last. So he'll probably be the strongest character I can get my hands on right now. But we don't want to overstate the importance. If for some reason you just can't spare the opportunity to do that, right, base it on an accurate decision. So again, if we look at this account in the past, right, we haven't put any power into the Phoenix. We don't have any power into Omega Red Phoenix Force. So I'm not going to be building those two characters, at least not right now. I'll just be using Magneto as a solo character when we unlock him. For that reason, right? The teams like this come out every year. One of these team members come out every year, so we want to try to do our best. Previously, we just didn't have the resources to build them, but going forward, we will at least be able to build the other two members as time goes on with the account, right? Not these two members, but whoever the two newer members over the next 2 years, I'll be in an end game position to do that. So we want to make sure that we unlock this character, so at least we can use that 3-piece. And then if somehow we find that there's some other resources, maybe we can pivot back to one of these two characters. But again, we're not going to break the bank to do that. We don't have anything to build for them right now. Excuse me. We don't have the ability. We don't have the resources to build them right now. So we're just not going to do it. More importantly, if I have to pivot back to something, it's going to be here to the Winter Guard, right? This is the team that I'm supposed to be working on. The reason why we don't have them farther is because I'm starting to hit bottlenecks with the gear. That's 100% fine. And it's something we need to talk about and keep an eye on so that we don't run out of our shop credits. I apologize. This is the second time I shot this. I lost the earlier footage. So there's a couple points that I'm just going to have to talk about and not be able to show you. For instance, I'm missing that gear piece right here, these augmented phytonutrients. So if we go to the store, so I already got the piece, but they would be in the shop store. Okay, so here we are in the shop, right? We already bought them. You see it's in that high tier section because it's the teal gear. 4,000 credits will get me 10 pieces. And so I just need to do that every day. I might, right? So depending on how much I can log on, shop resets 3 times a day. I probably can't get it 3 times a day, so once or twice, and I just got to farm that piece. And that's just what we have to do, right? No big deal. Don't buy a bunch of extra stuff that we're not using. Just get the piece that you need. So I probably will not have this team built up when Moon Girl comes out on the 11th, right? Probably want to have the team built up. Hopefully I'll get enough gear pieces. We'll be able to build up Dark Star. Then maybe I can start working on Ursa Major. They're going to be giving us a couple shards of him just in the command center and stuff like that. Maybe I will use power cores to finish and get that unlock. We'll just have to see. My goal is, again, I want to get to the tip of the spear. So I want to get this team built and then start working on the champions. The slowdown right now, again, is just some of those gear pieces and things like that I have to go to the store to get. Don't feel tempted to roll, right? This is very important. Don't feel tempted to use these orbs to do that. Okay. This is one of the reasons I think people run out of shop credits. Don't feel tempted to use the orbs to do that. I think for this piece, those phytonutrients, right? So the orb doesn't guarantee me getting anything. There's 3 pillars to each orb. So with this teal raid orb, I would need to get on the right pillar. And then I would have to get that 53% chance to have a 10% chance, right, to get my phytonutrients and to get 3 of them. I'm not saying, right, I have millions of shop credits. I'm not saying that maybe it's not okay to roll the dice a little bit, maybe open, an orb or 2, right? But I don't want to be dipping into my main stash because this is going to be a bottleneck that comes up for, every character. You don't have, as a newer player, you don't have years of backlog gear. So you're going to hit these bottlenecks, and that's why they made the change to the store the way it is. That's why they made the change to these shop credits. So when you hit these bottlenecks, you can reliably, right? I have 100% chance to get a certain amount of those items every day. They will always be in the store. Opening orbs, it's a right percent. As you saw, it's a percent of a percent. And the amount is much less than we get in the store now. So that was a big adjustment. Take advantage of it. So as we stated, Moon Girl comes out on the 11th. I will not pivot on this account from the Winter Guard to the champions, right? I'm still going to finish the Winter Guard team. That's where we are in the free-to-play cycle. I want to get to the front. I want to get to the tip of the spear. So we'll see if we're able to do that as time goes on. You want to slowly work your way to the front to give you more time to build your characters. What I can do is work on Spider-Man, Miles, Braun, and Ms. Marvel. And what I mean by that is just getting character shards, right? As you can see, I don't have all their character shards, so I can try to get those in the store. Don't build the characters up. They're going to stay at level 1. They're going to stay at level 1. Don't build the characters up, but we can start getting their character shards in the store. So by way of illustration, we have Gwenpool here. She's on the Retcon team. I'm not going to build those characters up. We'll talk about Retcon in a second, but I can get her character shards out of the store. I'm going to need them at some point, so I might as well, right, get these character shards out of the shop using shop credits to make it easier for me to get them up and running, right? There's a lot of characters right now, like 10 or more characters that I don't have at max star level. So if it's 10 of them, that means I have 20,000 shop credits that I need to use every day. So I know we have 1 million up there, but between my gear and the characters, this is why we need to make sure we have that surplus and are only going after the characters that we need. We can't build everything, so just go with what you know that you're going to need. To make that more efficient, again, I favorited the characters that we're working on. So we see past the Black Knight here with Deadpool. We have, all right, Deadpool's on the Retcon team. There's Winter Guard mixed in there. There's Champions mixed in there. But those are all characters that I know that are upcoming that I don't have unlocked. And we're just going to farm them every day in the store, right? So again, I apologize. I can't show you, but you would click find on your character and it would show you next to the incursion here. It would show you where they are in the shop. You would just click that and then grab that character. While we're standing here, this incursion is a good thing as well. I don't have She-Hulk at 7 red stars. So if you have incursion energy, you might as well look for the characters that you don't have and go ahead and take a swing using that incursion energy, right? Most of the stuff here to the ultra end game is useless, but to us, right, it's still good, right? I still need red star orb fragments. Why? Because I have to pull red stars for the current character as they come out. And right, I need fragments to do that. I don't have a giant unlimited backlog, so we need to build some of that. Silver promotion credits, same deal. I don't have a giant unlimited backlog on this account, so I need to have some silver promotion credits so that I can target and star up characters as they come out. So the same deal. So we'll take a look through here. Are there any characters that are on those teams? On the Winter Guard, on the Retcon team, on the Champions? Are there characters here that I'm currently using? So if the answer is no, don't use the red stars. Don't use the diamonds, right? For example, I have Groot unlocked, but it was a long time ago. He's on the Starjammers, but he's only level 75. I'm not really using him, so there's no point in buying that to put extra stars on him. The rest of these characters are characters I'm not using. The characters that I don't think are coming to a team, right? At least nothing has been announced. So there's no point in me buying that. So I need to save that currency so I can use it in the future. We're less than halfway, a little bit, when it comes to unlocking Sentry on this account. Again, I can't sweat it. I can only do what we can do. We don't have the same amount of firepower as people have at bigger alliances. So we just got to wait, man. It's not a big deal. He'll get unlocked when he does. Again, I just need to be careful not to use, right? You don't just build stuff just to build it. That's why. So you don't want to run out of resources. There were resources that were allocated for this character. That means I should kind of have them in my account. But if I'm just building anything, I'm going to use what was supposed to be used for him. So just wait, build the stuff as you need it. Right now, I have to be patient. I'm working on the Winter Guard when it comes to this account. So the key is just to be patient and work on things one step at a time, just like real life, right? You have a budget. There's a certain amount that's coming in. There's a certain amount you can spend. You can't go beyond that. You can't go beyond that. Just because I see a nice shiny car, I shouldn't panic buy or impulse buy. I just got to take one step at a time. We saw on one account that I'm at the tip of the spear. I'm going to be going straight into the champions as soon as they hit. On this account, it's going to be a little bit. It's going to take me a little while, not much, but it's going to take me a little while. I'm at that bottleneck when it comes to gear. Once I get through that, then yeah, we'll be jumping right into the champions. Be mindful that when teams come out, so when she hits, when Moon Girl hits on the 11th, that is the beginning of the spender period. That doesn't mean that you necessarily have to be ready on the free-to-play side. There was a 2-month gap between the spender and the free-to-play side. The closer you can get to the front of that gap, the more time you have to build and the easier it is. Hey, let me know what you think about the stuff that we said here. Does this information help? Does it resonate with you? Is there something that I'm missing that I could use to build into my plan as well? We want to get a nice, good, positive community when it comes to Marvel Strike Force, teaching people how to build, teaching people how to play the game. That's what we've been striving for. Hey, if you though haven't seen this video right here, please check it out. It's legit.